So how do you regulate your relation with other people? We do regulate our relations with the criteria, the common criteria, the common sense criteria, that is simply saying that the accounts should be even. If I give you something, you give me the same thing. If you treat me bad, I'm like allowed, to treat you bad as well, or at least to be indifferent to you. So this is the justice of this world. And we should say that, if you at least reach this point, we could say that you are a just person, you are an honest person, because you treat others like they are treating you. In fact, in the Bible, we have, and this is Exodus chapter 21, we have an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, which means that there should be an equivalence in between what they do to you and what you do to others. And this way of regulating relations, we tend to project this in God too. We tend to think that God is doing the same. That God, He will bless you if you do good things, and He will punish you if you do bad things. Again, accounts should be even. And then we have Matthew chapter 5. Then there is Jesus coming and saying, if your justice is not better of the justice of the Pharisees, you will not enter in the kingdom of God. What's the justice of the Pharisees? The justice of the Pharisees is the justice of the law. The justice of the Bible is the justice of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Is the justice that sees the relation with God like a commercial one. I give something to God, God gives something to me. And Jesus says, I want more. That is not enough. If you want to enter in the kingdom of God for Jesus, you need to regulate the relations with other people not based on calculation. You give me this, I give you that. But based on gratuity. That is the criteria that Jesus wants. This is the criteria of Christ. And so all the Christians who want to resemble to Christ, they should do the same. And Jesus, for not being misunderstood, He gives very clear, concrete, real examples. He says, offer no resistance to one who is evil. Why? Why shouldn't I not offer resistance to one who is evil? Because otherwise you will step down to his level. Jesus is asking us to go up, not to go down. If someone is evil, don't be like him. Because if you react, you will be like him. When someone strikes you on your right cheek, turn the other one as well. So, when someone strikes you on the right cheek, my right cheek is this one. So, if you think about it, if you want to slap someone in the face, in the right cheek, supposedly you are right-handed, So how can you slap someone in the right cheek? No, you slap someone and you slap the left cheek. How can you slap the right cheek? So Jesus is not saying this. If someone does this to you, no. He's not talking about the palm of your hand. Jesus is talking about here, the back of your hand. If someone slaps you like this on the right cheek, yes, like this, I will hit you in the right cheek. And this way, in the normal way, you can still attack me, and I cannot put too much force in this. But if I do this, first of all, I'm more protected. So I can really hit you bad. You could even fall because of the strength that I can express against you. And this is also, expressing conceit. This is expressing despise, contempt. I wanted to say. This is expressing contempt against you. I'm despising you. This is what Jesus got. You remember when he was talking to the chief priest, Caiaphas. And Caiaphas was asking him, okay, so what is it, this teaching that you have been delivering? And Jesus said, I did not teach in secret. I taught in the public place. So don't ask me, ask them who were there. And the soldier, the guard who was there, he probably did this. He hit Jesus in the face. What was the reaction of Jesus? No reaction. You see, Jesus is not teaching. Jesus is showing us how to do it. Also, about the tunic. If someone wants to take your tunic, give your cloak as well. In fact, you see, Jesus died that way. Without cloak, without tunic, he died naked. He gave all of it. Should anyone press you into service for 1 mile, go for 2 miles. So, press you into service. This is a Greek word that is angarewin. Angarewo, the first person. Angarewo. Angarewo means when you take a burden and you put that burden on the shoulder of someone else, forcing him to do that. You remember that man that he was coming probably from work, and there was Jesus carrying his cross, and they forced him to help Jesus. So they took the cross of Jesus because Jesus had fallen already 3 times. So they were afraid that he might not reach, and not reach, the place. And none of the soldiers wanted to touch that cross, so they took the cross and they put on the shoulder of an unknown person, of someone who was passing by. So if someone forces you that way to do 1 mile, carrying on his burden, you don't do 1 mile, do 2 miles. So you see what Jesus is trying to tell us today. So at this point, I have a question. Am I really concentrated on the right things about Jesus, about Christianity, about my faith, about the gospel? Because here Jesus says that if I don't do this, I will not enter in the kingdom of God. So it's pretty essential. Well, we said that already, that the kingdom of God in the vision of Jesus is not something that will come one day when you will die, then you have to decide if you will go to heaven or not. So you will enter or not the kingdom of God. No, the kingdom of God for Jesus is something here, present, now. And that's true. If you do this, at least if you would succeed in doing one of the things that Jesus is listing here in the gospel of today, yes, you would enter already now in the kingdom of God, because you will be a son of God. Why a son of God? Because you will be like your Father. You will be resembling to God, who is someone who gives the best out of gratuity. We think, again, our mentality, we think, that God gives us things only because we ask. But you don't ask for every single thing that you have. It's only that we take for granted the good things that we have. Have you prayed for having the sun today? None of us did. So how come we have the sun? Have you prayed to have your life today? You probably didn't. How come you have life? Because you see, God gives to you the good things that He knows that you need. So what do I pray? So if I take already everything, yes, you take already everything. So why should I pray? Oh, not for trading with God things. You don't trade prayers with God. Oh, now I will say this entire rosary, so God will give me this. We should change this way of thinking. Yes, I will say the entire rosary, so I will open my heart. So I will open my eyes. So I will see the will of God. And I will understand why He's doing this and He's doing that. This is a more mature way of looking at God. And this is something that I see closer to what Jesus is trying to tell us. So what is the true message of Jesus today? Is, question for us, for all of us. Do I ever give something for free? Father, I sell, I'm a seller. I sell, so I get money because I sell things. Yes, you can do that. You can get money because you sell. That's fine. But what do you do when you see somebody that is really in need? So maybe at that point, I see that you are really in need. Maybe I will give you a discount. Maybe if I can, I will give that for free because I see that you need. So you see, this is the gospel. Do things out of generosity. Because this is the nature of a Christian. Do something without expecting nothing back. And the more you go in this logic, the better, the closer to God. And of course, the best is when you are in front of people who don't deserve, and you still give. So your recompense will be given straight from God, who is looking at you in that moment that you are giving something to those who don't deserve. Maybe it's patience, maybe that's understanding, maybe that's forgiveness. God is looking at you and He's telling to you, you are my son. That is the recompense that we are looking for. That is being in the kingdom of God.